Hey guys, so we're doing another one of these videos where we just kind of sit here and talk to the camera. And this video is a little different because it's something we've wanted to do for a really long time. We've written extensively on our blog about, how we quit our jobs at home, how we started traveling for, a year at first, and then how we returned home. But those are all different parts of the blog. Yeah. And on this YouTube channel, we've never really talked about how we do what we do. You just see a bunch of travel videos of us traveling around the world. So today we kind of want to explain that.
Yeah, basically we're just going to tell you how we do what we do and how we became location independent and where it all started. So it's all in one place, and hopefully we can give you guys some information and maybe inspire you to do the same.
So here you go, our journey to location independence.
So it started, first of all, we should say we have a little book here.
Yeah, we do.
So make sure we get the dates right, the prices right, our timeline is good to go. So if we're looking down, that's why.
Okay.
So we started out in 2007 is when the whole sort of idea of traveling and maybe doing something different arrived. Nick had a really bad day at work. He came home and he was all like, I don't want to be here, blah, blah. And said if he wanted to go somewhere for a year, like backpacking, where would it be? And I said Southeast Asia because I knew it was affordable. There was tons of stuff to do there, beautiful scenery and stuff, and I've heard a lot of really good things.
Yeah, so I was really stoked that Doris didn't hesitate or anything. She just went right into it.
I was on board.
And we were both basically in the same mindset. We were tired of our jobs in Canada. We were working long hours, and we just felt like we had a nice life. We knew we were fortunate. We had a nice house and everything, and we had good paying jobs, but we just didn't feel like we could travel anywhere because we only had 2 weeks holiday a year.
Yeah.
So this idea just completely changed everything. And from that moment on, from that time when we had that quick conversation, we were researching and planning for our first trip. And in Canada, gap year is not that popular, right?
Yeah, UK, Australia, they have a big gap year culture where after high school you go traveling for a year, like backpacking.
Yeah.
We don't have that. So it was kind of new, or like a new idea for the people we told, and they were like, what do you mean you're traveling for a year? So anyways, what we ended up doing was saving as much as we could from our jobs, selling a house during a financial crisis, so that was stressful.
Let's cover some of the things we did. So when we were preparing to leave, first of all, we budgeted all of our earnings. We knew that we had to save a certain amount of money for this trip. We were going to try to spend $50 a day Canadian for the duration of the trip in Southeast Asia. We thought that was enough.
Yep.
So that would have been 18,250 Canadian dollars. So we knew exactly how much we needed to have by the time we were going to leave on this trip. So the first thing we did was write down all of our earnings, and then we minused all of our bills, like our mortgage and
essentials.
The essentials, the mortgage, electricity, gas, insurance on the car, all that kind of stuff. And what we had left over was basically what we knew we were going to save. We didn't want to spend any more money than our basics. I think we gave ourselves $50 a month.
So we had an allowance for entertainment. It was $50 Canadian each, and that was for anything. Like if you wanted alcohol, coffee, you wanted to buy a magazine, go to the bar, go out for dinner, go to the movies, $50 a month.
Anything that wasn't bills or food or whatever, that was $50 a month. That's all we gave ourselves. So we were really strict with ourselves.
We were on a tight budget. We also had a roommate come in because we had an extra room. So even though it was kind of weird having someone else staying in the house, that helped to supplement the mortgage and everything, and we were able to save more that way.
Yeah.
We just cut back on everything, like walking as opposed to taking, buying a transit pass. For me, I walked instead. What else did we do?
Well, we didn't go out as often. We cooked at home as much as we could. We had our friends over to have drinks rather than going out to bars where we'd end up spending a couple $100 in a night.
Yeah, dinner parties. We'd watch movies at home because back then you would rent DVDs. So we would rent movies. We wouldn't go out or anything. So yeah, we just did every little thing we could. We also did an automatic withdrawal
that's what I was
with our
say.
bank.
Yeah.
So when you get your paycheck, it's really hard sometimes to actually have to put that money into savings. Whereas if it's automatically coming off your paycheck, then you don't even know you had that money. So it's not like you're missing it.
And that wasn't hard to do. All we did was call our bank, or we went into our bank or something, and we said, hey, we want to open up like this separate account.
Yeah.
And we both just put money into it every day at payday, so we never really see it.
Yeah.
And so I did a bunch of overtime shifts that first time. Doris owned a house in Canada, so she knew she was going to have that. We were planning on selling this house.
Yeah.
So she knew she was going to have that savings. I had to work some extra overtime hours in order to get my money up in my bank. So I took a ton of overtime shifts. Maybe I was working 50 hours a week on average throughout the year. And we also sold a bunch of our stuff on to our friends, and we kind of had people over. I don't think we did an official garage sale. We were just slowly selling stuff. I don't think we used Craigslist at the time, did we?
Yeah, we did use Craigslist because I sold a couple of chairs and we had a TV and stuff like that we sold. We sold the big items because we knew $50 was all we needed for one day abroad. So we were like, this is great. So that's kind of how we saved and sold and ended up leaving Canada.
Yeah. basically
Yeah.
that's it. And when we left Canada, that feeling that day, so we had saved all this money finally. It took us not very long because we had sold the house as well. And
Yeah.
I sold my car as well on overtime shifts.
It was about 8 months, and we
about
ended
8
up
months.
leaving November 2008, actually on Nick's birthday.
Which is crazy
I know.
because that day, that bad day at work was on March 2008. So then by November 2008, we were in the plane and taking off from Canada. And I'll never forget that feeling of
The wheels lifting.
Oh, when the wheels took off on that plane. And we knew we were off work for a year and we're going to have this amazing adventure together. It was a feeling that I'll never forget. And
Me
yeah,
too.
it's just unforgettable.
So that was to Southeast Asia. It was for 13 months. We did Southeast Asia and the subcontinent. And yeah, just like Nick said, that freedom feeling of not having anything to do each day. You're just learning about new cultures, meeting new people, seeing the world. Like we'd never been anywhere apart from Mexico to an all-inclusive. So for us, this was just like the most amazing trip ever.
Yeah, it
Things
was.
we've never seen before, you know, it was completely different.
It was life altering.
Yeah.
And at this time too, we're just spending all of our money, right? So we're going to get to the location independence part
Yeah.
a little bit later. But at that time, we were just spending all our money and
Yeah.
having a blast on the road.
So we knew it would be 1 year, and then we ended up running out of money.
Yeah, as you do
As
when
you
you have no
do.
money coming in.
And so by this point, we hadn't figured out ways to make money on the road at all. We just were gone for a year, and then we figured we'd probably have to go back to Canada. Nothing came up along the way. We didn't really try to figure out ways to make money either. We just kind of heard about a few ways, but we never did them. So we came back to Canada. We ended up getting our same jobs back, which was incredible.
Yeah, we were super lucky
Very
on that one
fortunate.
because we came back in 2009,
Yep.
was it? So that was just after the global financial crisis. And we had sold the house like during the crisis. So when Doris sold the house, it didn't get as much as it could have. And then everyone was losing their jobs.
Yeah.
And we were really, really fortunate to get our same jobs back in 2009 during this crisis when we came back to Canada.
Yeah.
But
This time was a bit of a different feeling, though, because when we came back, we were like, I don't want to be here. This is culture shock, actually. It was reverse culture shock. We were so used to Southeast Asia and this freedom and everything, and we came back to Canada, and it just didn't sit well, at least with me. It didn't feel right.
yeah, it was so many rules and
Regulations, and I just didn't like the mentality, and I wanted to be free and do what we wanted on the road, and we didn't get to, we had spent a whole year 24/7 together. And then all of a sudden you get back home and you have to work these 8 hours, 12 hours,
Yeah, I
whatever
was
it
working
is
12s.
per day, and you were doing like 6 days a week.
Yeah.
So we went from seeing each other all the time as well to not. So that was difficult too.
But this time when we came back to Canada, we knew that we were going to save up money again and try to leave. But we decided that this time when we left, we were going to leave for good. So we were working our asses off. Doris took a second job.
Yep.
We ended up renting a place from our friends that were
Discount.
basically house sitting, but we paid a little bit of rent for bills and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was really cheap for us to rent. And I was working at least 60 to 70 hours a week every week. Doris as well with her second job. And we just knew we wanted to save up this money and take off again on another trip. But this time it wasn't going to be a trip. It was going to be a life. Right?
Yeah, that was what the whole goal was. But we did end up saving enough for 2 years, is what we thought, because we wanted to travel. We wanted to see Africa, the Middle East, Europe, Asia again, Northern Asia. We kind of went all around the world this time. And then after that, we wanted to have a bit of a nest egg so that we could figure out a way, so that when we didn't have a job abroad, or we didn't know a way to make money, we would have a bit to fall back on.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's why we saved for about 2 years.
So then what happened was we went on that trip with the money we had saved, and I'm just checking the dates again down here. Sorry.
That was an amazing trip, again, eye-opening, but that time we were like, no, we're not going back to Canada to get our jobs again. We're kind of done with that. We need to find a way to be location independent.
Yeah, that was our main goal. We even told our family at home, like, this is it. We're
Yeah.
leaving this time, and the next time we come back, it's going to be for a visit, not to come move back.
Yeah.
And I don't think everyone believed
I
us.
don't think
they
so.
were like, oh, yeah, okay, you'll get over this travel phase
Yeah.
eventually. But we were all about it. We thought, at the very least, we could figure that we could teach English in China
Yeah.
at the end and make some money and stay away for a little while longer. And
Yeah.
it sounds like we hate Canada. We don't hate Canada.
No.
We love Canada.
Yeah.
And we just fell in love with this lifestyle of being on the road and not having to get up for work and wait in traffic and all that stuff we didn't like about
Yeah,
Canada.
it just boils down to having freedom.
Yeah, it was
Total
freedom, that we were like addicted to at this point. We loved it, and we wanted to continue it. So we traveled for about a year and a half,
Yeah.
and about a year and 3 months actually, and then we went to India, and we were in an internet cafe in India, and I don't remember what we were doing. I think I was booking flights, and Doris was off just like Googling things.
How do I not have to go home from traveling?
Yeah, and she came across Johnny Ward's blog, who's now a friend of ours actually, and he had this one blog post on there that said he was making $3,000 a month from blogging. And Doris came over to me and she said, oh my God, look at this guy. He's making $3,000 a month. That could more than pay for our travels at this point.
Yeah.
Let's start a blog. And
because we were spending about $50 a day in Southeast Asia.
yeah.
So, I mean, that was a great amount to make per month to travel and still save.
Yeah, that's twice as much as we needed in Southeast Asia. So we were just gung-ho about it.
Yeah.
And so that was when the seed of starting our own travel blog kind of got planted in our head. And it wasn't until a little later that we actually ended up starting the blog, because we were still traveling. We were in India, not great Wi-Fi and all that.
Yeah.
So we ended up going to Thailand, and we started our blog on February 17th in 2012 on the island of Koh Phangan.
2012, and it's already 2019. That's crazy.
It's a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah, so we started the blog. Everything was okay, just figuring out how to do it. We had no idea. We're not good. We didn't know anything about computers. We didn't know about photography. We didn't know about anything.
Coding,
whatever. So it took us a very long time to even just get a website going.
Yeah.
But then, we hadn't made any money from it, and our money was running out. So I had a bit of a meltdown. I'm thinking, I'm not going back to Canada. We need to do something. Let's go to China and try to get a job teaching English there.
So that's what we did. We had already kind of planned to go to China. Like we said, we thought we could maybe find a job at the end of this trip.
Yeah.
So after Doris's breakdown on the beach, we both said to each other, like, let's go to China now. Let's start handing out resumes, and let's try to find some jobs there.
Yeah, so we actually were going to cafes, hostels, different places, and we would see flyers posted up for English teachers needed. And there was phone numbers, and then we were also Googling to try to find job postings online. And we ended up calling a bunch. We got a ton of response.
Yeah, after we did 1 week of calling and not handing out resumes, just calling basically, right? And emailing.
Emailing resumes, yeah.
And then after 1 week of doing that, we had 6 schools contact us, and that was perfect. So we decided on one that really felt good and felt right for us, and it ended up being the perfect job and the perfect school for us.
So we ended up moving to Yangzhou, China in 2012. I think it was June 2012.
Yeah.
And we were there for a whole year teaching English, and it was a great experience.
Yeah, we loved the job. We loved our little students. We had a great group of Chinese teachers as our friends, and also other expat teachers who were teaching English, and the lifestyle there was amazing.
And that was our first time actually living somewhere abroad, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to traveling. So we actually had an apartment, had a job, did all of this. And it was perfect because we only worked about 20 hours a week. That was the teaching schedule. So for the rest of the time, we were able to work on really building our website.
Yeah, exactly. And that job in China at the time, this is a few years ago now, so it's a little different now, the wages, but at the time, we were earning 8,800 RMB per month, which was around $1,280 US. And they also covered our flights to and from China, travel insurance in the country, language classes. They paid for all of our accommodation in a nice 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
And plus we got bonuses on top of that. Every couple months we'd get a bonus. And
a contract completion. So at the very end of the year, you got a lump sum for completing your whole year contract as well.
Yeah, I think we each got $500 or something.
Yeah, so it was a really good deal. And so that was... And because living in China was so affordable and our housing was covered and everything, so we were able to save 21,000 Canadian or 15,500 US dollars after teaching English in China for 1 year.
Yeah. And during that time, like Doris said, we were working hard on the blog. We were working about 20 hours a week, 15 to 20 teaching, and then about 20 hours per week starting up with the blog.
Yeah.
And of course, it didn't make income at first. When we first started in Thailand, we were still kind of traveling, and we were trying to get this job in China, and that was a few months' time that we just kind of wasted and didn't do anything on the blog. But by November of 2012, so at this time, how many months? We've been blogging for
Since February.
9 months or something.
Yeah.
The blog made its first money.
Yeah.
But it was just that we opened up a little shop where we sold
Calendars.
T-shirts and calendars with our Goats on the Road logos on them.
Yeah.
And photos of us and stuff. And basically it was just our family that was charitably helping us out, supporting us, and they ordered stuff online from us. And that equated to about $600 that month.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until July of 2013, right before our contract teaching in English in China was up, that we actually started making our first money from advertising on the blog. So that was more than a year after we started it, about a year and 5 months.
Yeah.
And it was making at that point, because then we were getting emails from advertisers and we were placing advertisement, maybe between $600 and $1,100 per month.
Yeah, after about a year. And that was a year of us, we didn't know anything back then. We
No.
weren't like, we didn't have tools available. Now there's a lot of stuff online that you can help you out with blogging, like our SEO course that we have and things like that. So we didn't know, we were just very, very new.
Yeah, we had to Google everything.
Every single thing.
It took us longer. People now are starting blogs, and sometimes they're making money in as little as 6 months, but we were complete newbies and had nothing.
And the industry has totally evolved, so it's different now. But yeah, so then we decided to go traveling again after that 1 year that we were in China, teaching and living. We decided to go to Central Asia, so through all of the stands, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Kazakhstan, Mongolia,
Iran.
Russia, and Iran. Yeah. So we did a big we left China, we went north, and then came down. And that was an amazing trip. That was about 5 months.
Which was perfect because it was all on money that we had saved teaching in China. So that was like a perfect stepping stone that we could go on another long trip together. And we were so happy to have been able to save money and have that amazing experience in China. And when that trip ended, again, we were getting low on funds. I don't think we completely ran out, but we were getting low.
Yeah, because the website was making a little bit by this point as well. So we had a little bit to fall back on.
Yeah, but it was very random. Some months 500, some months 1,500 at that point. But what happened was, while we were on that trip through Central Asia, another kind of stepping stone presented itself to us, and that was house sitting that we hadn't really heard of before. And we read a blog post from another blogger, I think, who was house sitting in the Caribbean, and we thought, well, why don't we sign up for this website? It was trustedhousesitters.com, pay the yearly fee, I think it's $100 or something like that, and then we could maybe get a house sit, and if we land one house sit, it's free accommodation and a free car, and even if we just get a few nights, that's awesome. But it turned out that the first job we landed was in the Caribbean for 5 months.
And I mean, we had no experience house sitting or pet sitting or anything, but we just did it on a whim. We were like, this sounds like a great idea. Let's try it. Same thing with teaching, same thing with blogging. You just go for it and you have a little faith in yourself, and it worked out. So we signed up for Trusted House Sitters, like Nick said. We got our first job in the Caribbean. And that was an excellent way to really build our website as we were receiving free accommodation. Because not a lot was coming in. So if we were having to pay rent or if we were having to travel and move around, it would have been really tough.
It wouldn't have been enough, I don't think, to sustain us at that time. So when we first started house sitting in 2014, what month was it? April 2014. We were making around $500 to $2,500 a month from the blog. That's how much it was varied. So
fluctuating like crazy.
On average, maybe $1,200 or $1,500 a month from the blog through advertising and some affiliates and things like that we were doing. So not enough, because if there's a $500 month, we're really tight. It was a little bit tough. But then we decided to start freelancing. We'd also read blogs and learned a little bit about other people who were freelancing and writing for other websites and magazines. In exchange for some money, they get paid for it on a per article basis. So we started doing that. Yeah,
freelance writing is an excellent way to make some money on the side as well. So that was perfect. While we were building the website, we were making some cash. So we did the whole house sitting thing from 2014 to 2016. So for 3 years, 6 months of house sitting, between 5 and 7, it depended on the year. And the other time was traveling. So we got to enjoy free accommodation, a furry friend that we were able to take care of, a vehicle for our use. We were able to live like a local in Barbados, Costa Rica, and Grenada, and just really enjoy the lifestyle and receive the free accommodation and build up our website. So it was just a perfect little marriage of the two.
Yeah, perfect stepping stone. It's all these little stepping stones that kind of got us to where we are today. And basically it took us, we were sitting there working on our blog every year, and it was slow going, but it took us until mid 2015 when we finally reached that same point that we read about on Johnny Ward's blog back in, 2012. So it took us a couple years, but then it was $3,000 a month, and we were making that through advertising, affiliate sales, our freelance work, and we were ecstatic. We had finally done what we had kind of dreamed of.
It was our dream,
a few years earlier when we read that post in that Indian internet cafe.
We had that goal, that visualization, the $3,000. That was what we wanted from the website every month, to be able to travel and to be able to, have some savings going into the bank. So thank you, One Step Forward.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny.
But yeah, ever since then, obviously each year it has just gone up. So
yeah, it's basically doubled in income every year and doubled in traffic. But it's not just the income that we love about travel blogging. We're talking about that a lot because I know people think that maybe, if I start a blog and quit my job, I'm not going to be able to live the life I'm living now. I'm at home, I make good money.
That is a big misconception, isn't it? Yeah, a lot of people, and I don't blame you. Like, you don't want to live or leave the life that you enjoy only to go and live like at a different standard than what you want. But there's definitely like really good money to be made in this industry. So don't worry about that.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the oil rigs and I worked at a plastic packaging factory, a good job in Canada.
I was a real estate paralegal.
And we're making much more than we are now, we're making much more now than we were in Canada. And we also work only 15 to 20 hours a week on the blog. So it's like this ultimate life that we are just so fortunate to have and so happy about.
So we get to travel, write about traveling, help other people, you know, maybe quit their jobs and work remotely or do remote work with their current career. Help people start house sitting, maybe help people start to teach English, start a website, and so we really love this, the whole aspect of this job.
Yeah, we've actually written about over 101 different travel jobs and remote work jobs and jobs you can do at home, even if you're still living at home and just want some extra money on the side.
Yep.
We've written about this all on our blog, so if you're on the blog watching this video now, check it out. If not, I'll put some links down below in the show notes on YouTube or on Facebook up above, and you can click on those and check them out as well. And it just shows you so many different jobs. We've interviewed people who have done cruise ship jobs. You know, they've worked on cruise ships, made good money.
Worked on yachts. They've been a masseuse working abroad. People are dive masters. People are, what else? Bartenders. Oh, yeah, and an au pair, like a nanny.
So many different things that you can do, and lots of people are doing this. So that's like one of the best parts of our job now. Like, yeah, it's great. We're able to sustain our own travels, and we're super happy about that. But right now, honestly, the best part about our job is getting emails from people who tell us that, you know, they quit their job, they started traveling, and they learned how to make money on the road. Maybe they started working on cruise ships, or they started their own blog and started making money from it, or started teaching English. And that's just so humbling for us, and we love that we have the opportunity to share this lifestyle with more people, which is what we're trying to do today with this video.
So if you've been interested in location independence, working remotely, making money while you're on the road, or just taking the job that you're in right now and asking your boss if you can do that from a cafe in Rome or a beach in Bali, we want to help you out with some tips that we have.
So first tip is just to go for it. If we had kept on delaying over and over and over again, we'd never be where we are today. And we don't have any real regrets from this lifestyle that we've built for ourselves, except for that we would have loved to have started sooner. We spent a lot of time working at jobs we didn't enjoy and looking at the clock and waiting for our shifts to end and getting stuck in traffic and just not enjoying our life to the fullest. And so our recommendation is just go for it. Start planning it now.
Definitely start saving money. You'll want to have a nest egg so you can either pick up a second job, 2 or 3 jobs, sell your things. People usually have too much stuff, to be honest. So purging your things.
Cut down on bills.
Consolidate your bills together. Maybe you can move into a cheaper place. Can you share a house with somebody? Can you move into your parents' basement? Whatever it is. Whatever you have to do to buy that plane ticket.
Exactly. And another thing that we did that really worked well for us was setting that automatic withdrawal from our bank so that every time we get paid, every time we were paid in Canada, that money would come right out of our paycheck and we didn't even see it. And it just built up in a separate travel account.
Yeah, exactly. And there are also some side hustles you can do while you're at home. So you're making your current income, but there's other things you can do from home. Like teaching English online is a huge one.
Yeah, that's the best one, I think.
So I'd recommend setting that up even while you're at home. And even if you want to continue doing that while you're on the road, it's great to get set up as soon as possible.
Yeah, and you can make about $22 an hour on some of these online teaching companies like VIP Kid and Q Kids. And again, there'll be links down below for this. It's a great way to make some money, like Doris said, while you're saving or also while you're on the road.
Yeah, when we taught English in China, we had to physically move to China. So obviously not everybody wants to do that. So this is a great way to teach Chinese children, but from the comfort of your own home or anywhere in the world, because you're allowed to be working remotely with VIP Kid.
And while you're at home and you're maybe teaching English online and you're saving up money for your new lifestyle on the road, I recommend starting your own blog. We talk about it all the time on our own blog because we honestly believe it was the best decision we ever made in our lives. So if you're to start a blog now and you kind of follow, we have a free course to teach you how to start a new WordPress blog. If you follow that, you could start earning money in like 6 months to a year or more. You never know, I can't say for sure, but that's just going to get you that much further ahead. So you're at home saving money and you're writing about what it's like to save up this money and prepare for this world trip, and that's a great way to already have a blog running and having some content to write on that blog as well.
Yeah, and the sooner you start it, the better, because you'll get Google
loves it
when you have
Google likes older domains.
Thank you. Older domains. The longer your blog has been around, you'll be rewarded more for it. But also, it doesn't have to be about travel, too. So maybe you want to go traveling and live abroad, but you could have a website to do with pets, fashion, food, tech, like whatever it is, whatever you're interested in and knowledgeable about.
Anything, yeah. And while you're doing that, while you're writing your blog and while maybe you're teaching English online, I also recommend that you check out trustedhousesitters.com and sign up. Like we said earlier in this video, I think right now the sign up is only $120 a year. And that gets you in the door and you can see all the listings for all the different house sits available all around the world. And there are hundreds of them, thousands of them. Maybe hundreds, maybe tens of thousands, I don't know. But there's a lot on there. And like every time we went and put in an application, we basically got a job, or we've been on there and we got 3 or 4 jobs,
We
5
did
jobs.
4, yeah.
Yeah, so lots of jobs on there all over the world, particularly in Europe if you want to go to France and all that kind of stuff. So
yeah, the most popular ones would be in England, Europe as a whole, Australia, the United States, and Canada. But they are all over. Our only house sits have ever been in the Caribbean, so there's definitely tons.
Yeah, you can pick and choose which house you like, which pet you like, and which country you want to go visit.
Yeah.
And that's a great way too, while you're kind of, when you leave home and you've kind of quit your job and you started traveling, to save a little extra money because you're not spending the money on accommodation and on a rental car and on travel as it is. So you can work on your blog or work on teaching English online or whatever you choose to do to keep yourself on the road.
Exactly. And we also have all the other ideas in our ebook, the 101 Ways to Make Money While You're Traveling. So we have tons of jobs in there, 101 of them.
Yeah.
So you can grab that as well. That is down below. It's free. Just download it and give you some inspiration.
And like we said earlier, there's a ton of stuff on our blog too, so definitely go check it out. This is our favorite part about writing our blog, is that we get to help people and teach them how to do these kind of things, because there are so many jobs available on the road, online, and on the go, so you can travel and live the life you want to now rather than putting it off any longer.
Yeah, and if you have any questions about this lifestyle, I know this was a really short video of how we live this lifestyle, but definitely comment below or send us an email and we will definitely get back to you and help you out.
So I hope you liked this video about how we became location independent, and I hope that it helps inspire you and maybe help you towards this path that we were on that led us to where we are today. And if you like this video, like Doris said, give it a thumbs up and also hit that subscribe button down below. It helps us out a lot and we can get these videos out to more people.
And also we have a lot more information down below in the articles, so just keep scrolling and keep reading. And if you're on YouTube, click the link below to go check out the full article and give us a thumbs up and a comment down below.
All right, thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. Till next time.
Bye.
Bye.
You are my sun.